This video is brought to you by Big Owl Lubricants. Big Owl Lubricants. Go big, go Big Owl. Okay guys, a busy day today. Been working on my Dakota a lot today. But I finally got some time to come out here this evening, and I'm going to try to dress out this 440 to get as far as I can. I'm going to put the water pump housing on, and if I get time, I'll put the motor mounts in, which are sitting right there on the frame, right here. One there, and the dipstick, and the water pump drive right here on the table. Get that put on, and probably that lower pulley. Get all that dressed out on the car, and not sure if I'm going to put the oil pump, prime the oil pump yet or not. We'll get that far, and or get as far as we can. And yeah, and I need to test fit my headers. I'll do that probably tomorrow. But yeah, all right, let's see what we can get done here. All righty. Can you guys see okay? All right. Let's put these together. I think I got them in the right hole. That's the first time I've ever got all of them in the correct hole on the first try. Getting better at this. One guy in a comment a while back said, "You don't know anything about big blocks, do you?" And I've been from, like most of my cars, I've been from one end of the car to the other. I just can't keep up with everything. I'm just sorry if that bothers you. The trucks, the A bodies, the C bodies, you name it. From one bumper to the other, I've been back there messing with it, working on it. And if I forget something, I forget something. That's the way it is. Let's get rid of that. Let's put that up there. Just wash this down. No, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I don't know nothing about big blocks, but I know more than most people in the world. There's a bunch of folks that know more than I do, but I'm catching up to them. It's tight there. Let's see if we need an extension bar to get into that one. I'm not sure I can get into it even with an extension bar. Oh yeah. I got a extension bar and a little swivel head, a little wobble head made on the end of it. I'm going to have to use it, I believe. Do believe. The main thing is just get this pump on tonight. It's getting dark, and I'm ready to go in, take a shower. I've already had supper. It's humid again as usual. I'm going to take a shower and watch a little TV and call it a night. It's Friday night. You guys are getting a lot of bonus footage today. I don't normally do these types of videos, me working on the cars, because I don't know that much about big blocks. I want the whole world to see. Let me grab that little wobble head. I'm not sure which toolbox it's in. We'll find it. Just bear with me just a second, guys. It's not in this box. What do you know? There it is. There it is. Whoops. Let's see if that does the trick. Nah, I don't think that's gonna work either. Yeah, I don't want to take a chance. Let's get the wrench out. I want to break it off. Come this far. It's pretty tight. Go ahead. You served your purpose, but you didn't work out. Last thing I put these motors together, it's a lot of little stuff that's got to be done too. Takes up some time. Try to keep everything clean as pot as I can. Let's take this other one out. Woo! Bet it's only 78 degrees, but the humidity mugging us. Can't be sweating. Look at that. Drop the damn thing. It all up in there. And the last one. And then we got them all tight except for the ones holding the electric motor on. Well, like I said, we got to do some more work on those. Or we'll have them all tight. We got to tighten these up, obviously, but. I was putting another video, if you follow the channel, I was putting a spare tire mount on a Dakota today, my Dakota. And surface rust on the threads. And I wish I'd have put, I had the one I robbed off the parts truck was cleaner than the one on my truck. And I kind of wish I'd put some, either this stuff here or anti-seize on the threads to keep them from rusting up in case they have to take it off again. You never know with a used part. But that was tight. That was tight. Tight. Allow for a little expansion, I guess, huh? All right, guys, so the next thing to do is to install this motor mount on this side. If I can get it done tonight. I think we're done with the pipe dupe. No, we're not. We got to, I'll work on that tomorrow, see if I can improve that. I'm gonna take it all the way back off and flatten it out with a hammer and hollow out these holes. Because that's not gonna fly right there. I just ain't gonna get it. I'm gonna turn you off. I don't know. I don't think I need to turn you off. Let me put some tools up. We can get right back at it here, I think. Yeah, let me turn you off just for a second. All right, guys, let's put these motor mounts in. These are spool mounts. I like these. And of course, you don't tighten these up till you got the motor put in. That's always a no-no. You get them fairly close, but you don't get them tight. A little wiggle room, like that right there. I got that one a little bit too tight, maybe not. That's about right. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call. We got one more. One other side's a little bit more different. Just a little more comfortable. I got to put the dipstick fits into it right here. This little hole right here. You see that? But it goes through. It goes through like that. And I got to make sure this is the right dipstick. And just take my time. I don't want to be. I have all day tomorrow pretty much to work on it and get that right. We get that side in, and the torque converter put in, and the SFI flywheel put in, flex plate put in, and the front pulley. Straighten that out. So I got a few things to do tomorrow, and put some water in it, and we'll be good to go. So yeah, let's call it a day, call it a night. I've been out here since 9:30 this morning working on stuff, and whew, take a break. I'll continue this video tomorrow. Okay, guys, it's day 2. We're back on this 441. See if we can get some more stuff done on it. I'm gonna put this other motor mount on and this dipstick. And it says there's the big block 383 440. So we'll get that put on. It goes right in here, and then the tab attaches to the motor mount ear. Get that done, then we'll look at, you can see this bracket here is bent like crazy. So, I don't know, we've got to figure that out, that's for sure. And it's all the way down on its, I mean, it's not tight. It needs to be tightened up, but definitely got to get that lined up a little bit better. That's not going to work there. I want to sling that off. That would be bad. So I'm going to set you up on a tripod, and we're going to go back to putting this thing together. Okay, I finally got this damn dipstick in. I took this file and just kept filing away on it. And I got it to go in there about halfway. And you see that little flange right there? I took these damn pliers right here. And the flange was probably up to about right here at that point. And I just took this and I just kept twisting while I was pushing down, putting pressure down here with my hand. Twisting, 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 and it finally, it just started lowering itself down in there. Twisted it in place. Now that I've got it, it looks like it's seated bottom out. I'm fine with that. Now, to get this back on, this needs to go in this ear right here. And it looks like I may have it down a little bit too far, but it's not there. That's good right there. And so I got to get this back on. And I don't know if I should weld that or JB weld it or create a different strap, but it's got this hole in it right here. where it was braided from the factory. Which I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I can wrap it with something, and I've done this before on dipsticks. You just wrap it with something, run a screw through it, tighten it good and tight, and then of course run your motor mount bolt through there. So I don't know, one way or the other, we'll figure it out. That's the main thing, is I got this damn thing in. Woo! Now let's get the motor mount on. Okay, folks, as you saw, I finally got the dipstick in. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do about this piece here that broke off. I gotta come up with something, because I don't think I can weld that on. We'll come up with something, but I don't like the way this motor mount here. I'd rather have the nut on this side, but it's froze up in there. It pulls this spline, one of them deals. I should have probably pressed it out. I may still press it out. I got to fix this still. I haven't got that fixed yet, or that's bent, because it's making my belt wonky. And I don't like that. It's putting the belt in the bind on this side of the pulley here. And the flex plate, put the flex plate on when I get it off the stand, and mock the headers up. I got a brand new set of hooker headers that were donated by a fan. Thank you, Gary, for that. And they came with bolts on these aluminum heads. I'd probably rather run studs, so I don't make sure I don't strip a hole. So I need to order the gaskets. They came with gaskets. I may use those gaskets for right now. But we'll look at it. We'll mock it up, make sure my starter's going to clear. This mini starter goes right in here. It's kind of eyeball moving around, see if it's clearance, how tight it's going to be. And that should wrap this thing up. I'll probably go to the hardware store and buy some studs and some nuts. All right, folks, that's enough for the day. And I put a little tape on here. I was painting that block after I beat on it, trying to get that dipstick in. So, all right, this continuation of the video. This is just a leg of it. Okay, a lot of you guys were wanting to know how I was going to fix the dipstick with the broken little bracket that comes off of it. Some folks suggested I just spot weld it or braze it. I don't know. My skills at that aren't that good. Here's what I'm going to do. This is one I did on the 400. When I bought this car, old Furious, the 400 that was in it, the dipstick was messed up, and I had to rig this. I wrapped it around a header tube and had it going over to a little bracket on the, that I had attached another bracket to the dipstick. Not going to do it that way this time. I'm going to attempt to do this right here. I'm going to cut this out and wrap it around the tube and bolt it to that existing bracket. This will hold it to the tube. It'll be sandwiched around the bracket that's loose, but I'll bolt it together and that'll hold it. And then the factory bracket right here, in other words, I'll just wrap it around here, make a loop right around this, and drill a hole, screw it in there. And then this hole here, this piece will still be part of the original mounting of it. So let me get to work on that, and let's show you. I want to get this done so I can get this painted tonight, hopefully. I think we got some more weather coming or something's getting ready to happen. And I want to do some other stuff too. So let me get started on this, guys. Okay, guys, this is what I came up with. I mocked it up on this old dipstick. And so it'll wrap around it, clamp it down, get it good and tight. So that'll be, hey buddy, what's up? That's gonna be what we're gonna go with right there. Okay, guys, I went by the hardware store and I wanted to get 12 studs. They only had 6. I know a lot of you guys use the bolts. The reason I want to use the bolts is if you take the bolts in and out enough times, you run the risk of cross-threading one or damaging one. So I like to put the studs in, and once they're in, they stay in. And I'll put a little, I guess I'll use pipe dope on it. I don't think the water jackets are in these, where these studs go in, but just in case, I'll put some kind of suit. I thought about anti-seize, but I don't really want anti-seize either. But they only had 6, so I'm gonna put these on and just kind of mock the headers up. I want to see if I can use the mini starter. On the old headers, I couldn't use the mini starter. So let me stick the header. I got a brand new set of hooker headers that were donated to me. So let me see, thank you, Gary. Let me see if we can get the headers on, if there's room for the mini starter. Okay guys, so the header is on. I got the, the two studs in. Looks like there's room to reach this and these two here, these two nuts. These two here are going to be a booger. I have to get them from the top side with a wrench, but I believe they'll shouldn't be too big of a problem. Here's the mini starter. This is a high torque. It says Chrysler Corporation. It's probably something like you find on a Dakota or a Hemi Ram, those kind of things. I think they're all the same. I had to grind to try to make this thing fit. I had to grind this, put a extension cable on it. We'll get into that later. And this little fitting here, or not fitting, but plug. And you just, that goes to hot, and this one here goes to ground. So, or I guess the ignition, I should say. So here we go. I've already trial fitted. It seems to be okay. The starter is going to go right in here, somewhere along in here. I'll try to get it kind of flush with the block. If I remember correctly, it was turned in such a way where probably something like this, that it was almost hitting the block. That's why I had to grind that right there, something like that, I think. So the header has obviously got plenty of clearance. I can put my fingers under it, assuming that's where it goes. I think it does. I don't think it went back here. No, it couldn't have gone back there. So it had to be up against the block, the edge of the block where the transmission bolts in. So something like this. It is raining. It just started raining. Boy, believe it or not, it's not. We're not getting too wet. Get little sprinkles on us. But the other side of the shop is raining hard. All right. I think we're gonna be okay right there, guys. I really do. That means I can put the headers on before I put the starter on, which is cool, because trying to drop those headers, you have to put them in from the front. Well, you can put them in either way, but they seem to go in easier from the front. It cleared the dipstick nice, as you can see. The other headers, the dipstick tube came up from this tube because it went out so far. So that's going to be great. I don't know if I'm sitting there pointing, you guys can't see me pointing at, but the dipstick right here goes on the outside of the header tube. So that's good. I believe we're going to be okay there. Now, if the headers will just simply fit the chassis, they should clear the transmission case. On the old headers, I think it was on the passenger side, it was rubbing the transmission case, so I had to take a pry bar and pry it off while it was hot. And I was able to get it off, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch. And God, I hope I don't have to do that on there. But these headers are heavy. They're hooker headers that were donated by a follower / friend, a guy I've known for a while who's been following the car. He bought them for a Charger. Said, I don't need them. And he sold the car, so he said, here, Bob, I'll donate these to your cause. So that was cool of him to do that. So I think we're good there. So I got a little work to do on the water pump drive, this right here. Still got a little work to do on there. Try to get it done tonight and get it good and mounted. And I need to go out and try to find some more studs. And I think we're good to go, guys. I'm gonna put you over here where you can see the back side of this. Let me just move you just for a second here, folks. Let's see, stick my hand here so I can see it. Yeah. All right, here we go. So when the headers are on, just from underneath the car, just come up in here and bolt the slide the starter in. Like I said, it'll go somewhere like that. It bolts into the transmission. And it is tied up against the block. I remember that. But I think we're going to be okay. We got plenty of room in here. Plenty of room. Cool. All right, folks. Okay, guys. So what I'm going to do now, got a 3/8 by 16 tap. I think that'll focus for you guys. Maybe. I don't know, maybe not. Anyway, it's a 3/8 by 16 tap. So just to make sure we don't have an issue, I'm going to just slightly, carefully run this tap down through this hole here. Just to make sure we're okay. Oops. Turned it before I had it on there good. There we go. As long as it's going in and ain't fighting me, we're okay. And it's starting to fight me right there a little bit. I don't want to break this tap off, even though it's a Craftsman. And I'm going to grab a stud here, just kind of get an idea. I know about how far it went out, it came out with the head. I think we're in there very far. Let's pull it out and just see what we got, see if any dirt or trash is in there. You guys seeing that? There's a little bit going on in there. Let me blow this off of here. When you send these parts to the machine shop, sometimes they get some dirt in them. And then it sat on the shelf over there for 2 months, seems like. I'll just stick it back in. Should have marked how far it went in. I didn't do that. Alrighty. There we go. It's always possible to use the machine to the hole all the way down. Could be a reason why they didn't do that. I got it another couple of turns, I think. Let's see here. I don't want to push my luck here. Put this back out here. Let's see if we can. All right, let's get the stud out. See if we can get it going in a little further. Nope. Yeah, it went in a little bit. Yeah, it's going in a little further. There we go. Yeah, it's seating on this. That's something, I hear something, there's still some trash or dirt in it. Chemical I sprayed in turned off with black. I think it's got some dirt in there. Let's see what happens this time. That went in quite a bit. That went in far enough. I'd like for it to bottom out, but you know, on the old shoulder here, but if it don't, it don't. I ain't gonna worry too much about it. It seats better if it does. What that shoulder's for. I think if we put a couple of nuts in there, might be able to do something. Let's see if we can get it here. See what happens here, guys. Should have had this handy, I guess, but I didn't. See what happens right here. Screw it down to reduce the chance of breaking it off, I think. Grab another wrench so that's turning. And this turned the stud. It'll be okay, guys. Well, I intended. pull it back out one more time. Clean it. Damn it, I don't want to break this thing off in the head. I really don't. I'm not just saying that to amuse you. I really don't want to do that. I have had so much bad luck with this car. You know, I'm shell shocked about everything I do now, it seems like. Yeah, let's do it one more time in there. Yeah, screw it a lot easier that time. I think we're making progress here. Yeah, it needs to go a little bit more of it. Let's back it out one more time. It went all the way to it's got one thread left to go. Might be enough. Might not. I think that's all she's gonna get right there. She's gonna get that last thread and stop. So let's call that a done deal, guys. I'm gonna pull it back out and put some pipe dope on it and reinstall it, and that'll be that. And go ahead and do this other one over here too. Oops. Get another wrench. Yeah. You've seen how it goes, so let me turn you off here and continue working on this thing, guys. All right, I got the water pump drive on. It's working like it's supposed to. Of course, you got to get it hooked up so it'll run off the electricity, but it seems to work pretty good. What I did, I just flipped the bracket instead of having it to these two bolts. I just, with the U shape facing that way, I just flipped it around. So there's got to be a better combination than keep filing on that. And it was. I got them in these slots here. That seems to be better. And the tension on the belt, that's about what you want right there on these. You don't want to stretch that belt too much. It will break. That's perfect. That's really good. It'll turn just fine right there. So that's done. The only thing left to do now is finish the exhaust studs, and then we can put the motor in, I believe. I test fitted the headers, and the transmission's hanging too low. I got to jack the transmission up, so I think I'll just wait till I get the engine in, see if the headers fit. They should. I mean, it came out of a B body, and if they don't, they don't, but they should. Or they're for a B body. Okay, guys, I think today may be the day we try to put this motor in. I think I'm gonna hold off on, I was gonna prime it. I think I'll hold off until I get the engine in. I'm a little worried about that oil pan. I don't know if that's gonna clear, I hope so. It looks the same as the one that came out of the car. But the one that came out of the car, there wasn't much clearance in the front, between the front of the pan and the K-frame. And it's not the same brand of oil pan, so I may just stick the, I may just drop the engine in and just make sure the oil pan fits before I put that expensive oil in it. And then we'll get everything set up. I got to raise the transmission up a little bit and just fit the torque converter. And I got to get the car off the jack stands. It's got ramps on the front, jack stands in the back. So get it setting a little bit closer to the ground so my hoist won't struggle so much. So I guess we'll work on that today. What you're looking at right here is 7 exhaust manifold studs. I went to 5 different stores yesterday before I found the store that had them. And I paid $21 for these. With tax, it was probably over $22. And as you can see, 3 of them, with the 3 with the nuts, are a different size, so I had to get fine thread nuts for those 3. The others are like this bag here. I bought these at Ace Hardware a few days ago, and they only had 5. I needed 12. So I had to go back and find 7 more. 5 stores later. It's ridiculous, the stuff that you can't find anymore. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, I'm down here on my knees. I just got the converter in. This is the 3500 stall converter. It's maybe a brand new one. And I decided, because all the bad luck I have, I said, let me test try the flex, the bolts for the flex plate to go in here, just to make sure they're the right size. 2 of them went right in, no problem. The other 2 wouldn't only go about halfway. Scared I was going to break them off if I tried to force them, so I went and got a tap. This contraption here, chased it, got better. Went in about 3/4 way, so I took the bolts over to and ran them through a die. Chased them through a die. Finally, I got it where all 4 of them bottom out smooth and nice. About an hour there just on stupid crap like that. Okay, guys, so we got a little issue with the rocker arms on this 440 engine. This one right here is cracked, as you can see right there. See that? That's not good. Now, there's no ratio on these. I think it's supposed to be. There is on this crank. Look right there. There's no ratio. PSP, which I'm sure is a Chinese, I guess. I've never heard of that company. The Crane Gold are 1.5. I measured them, and the maybe I didn't measure them correctly, but I think these will work. I think I can put the Crane. Another problem, they're rubbing on the valve spring. They're actually hitting the valve spring, not on that one, but on some of them as they sweep. This one here, you can probably see it a little better. It's hard to see, but and you can see the shininess on that one, so not good. So I'd rather run the Crane anyway, I guess. I think the Crane will work. That looks like that'll work. I hope so. I got a set of these, so God, I hope so. Okay, guys, so it's Saturday night, about Saturday evening, afternoon rather, yeah, about 5:30. And I'm done. I've been out here much of the day working on this thing, running into all kind of problems. As you saw, the rocker arm issues, and I had issues with the torque converter, brand new converter. So I don't know. I was gonna stab the motor in, but I'm just every time I touch something on this freaking car, I run into a problem. And if I try to put that motor in and run into a problem, I'll be out here to 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna come back someday, maybe Wednesday, with a fresh mind, fresh head, because I'm just burnt out on this damn thing and all these freaking problems. So we'll call it a day. The motor's ready to go in, I think, and I talked to the engine builder, and he said that he gave me permission to prime it, but then we had the rocker arm issue, so I don't know. I'll have to speak with him on that, see if he still wants me to prime it, but I can prime it once I get it in the car. And probably gonna put those Crane Gold rockers on it. They're 1.5. They stamped right on at 1.5. We'll have to clearance them, so there'll be some work involved there. But I don't know what else to do. Alrighty, folks. I guess this is going to be a wrap on this update. Maybe the next one you'll see the motor sitting in the frame. That's a good way to have an update. So this will do this one for now. And as always, I appreciate the folks that follow along the struggles of getting this car going. And hit that thumbs up button, hit that like. Please hit that thumbs up button. That helps the video get some views. And maybe my luck will change on this car. And hit the like button. Cheer me on a little bit, will you? It's stressful to spend so much time out here in the shop and get so little done on so many days. All right, out of here, folks. Y'all take care.